Hello everyone out there in Toastmasters land. Welcome to the webinar. Shawn Gold and myself, Jeff Galenzoski. And today we're going to talk about your club and why it's the place for Toastmasters to be. So we'd like to start by introducing Shawn Gold. I'm just going to leave it there and let Shawn do the rest. Shawn?
Hi, my name is Shawn Gold. I'm the Program Quality Director for District 21. I've been a Toastmaster now for 7 years, started in 2011, and my first experience with Toastmasters was I'd heard about it many years ago, and then I had a manager say to me I needed to improve my executive communication skills. So I went and checked out some clubs. I had a club that was really close by, walking distance. Didn't quite think that it was the right mix for me. It didn't put on that right image that I thought was important, that I was looking for. But the club that I did intend to look at seriously, I met another night, and I went and saw that one shortly afterwards, and that was the club that got me into joining Toastmasters. It had the right image. It was that professional club. It was well organized, well structured, and I felt very welcome there. So that was my experience with starting with Toastmasters. And I've since carried on with Toastmasters because I've learned a lot, and it's helped me personally improve. I've met some really wonderful people, and I've developed skills that I never really thought that I could expand on and develop to that level that I have. And I'm continuing to learn, continuing to develop, and to me, that's what makes Toastmasters so special.
Let's talk about clubs and the place to be. When a new member walks into a Toastmasters, or not a new member, they're not a member yet, but a guest walks in to a club for the first time, whether they've been invited by a friend or found something on the internet, what do you think, Shawn, that they're looking for, and what can the club provide that gives that first-time visitor a positive experience?
Yeah, that's an important question. We have so many tools that we have at our disposal to be able to take a look at what makes sense or what will help a guest. We have this thing called the Moments of Truth, which is a wonderful tool that every club should run. And that allows you to ask the questions not only of your members but also of the guests to see, is this club meeting their needs, or does this club entice them? But every club should look at that, at the situation, at their own club, and just look at it introspectively and say, what was it that I wanted to achieve when I came in the door? What was it that attracted me to this club? And if you think back about what it was that enticed you when you came into the club, you can help identify with what will entice other people to want to join your club. The first thing is to look at your club, or look at what the individual is trying to achieve. Why are they coming to Toastmasters in the first place? There's something that they're trying to achieve, overcome. Their fears of public speaking. They're trying to become a better speaker. They want to become a professional speaker. Something that they want to achieve. Does your club provide the opportunity not only to meet that need, but to allow them to excel at that need? Now, part of that is, if that person is looking for a professional organization, you better make sure that your meetings are run professionally if you want to entice them. Are your meetings running on time? Are they organized? Do you have agendas? Is everything working on clockwork? And if it is, according to the schedule, and everything is working and people are doing and accomplishing goals, then that's part of it. Are people having fun? Is this a drudgery, or is there a challenge getting people to do things? Or is it just everyone seems to be professional, having fun, and it's moving forward? And are people doing things that inspire these guests? Are they doing, in a table topic, they're able to get up there and do a wonderful response to a challenging question and do it brilliantly? Are they able to give outstanding prepared speeches, that show that they are strong speakers, and at a level that the guest is saying, well, I'd never be able to get there, but if this organization is able to turn out people that can do that, and I could eventually do that, this is a place that I want to be. So there's a whole lot of things we need to understand before you're going to be able to attract those guests. You've got to look and say, what is it that they want to achieve? And then, is your club, does it evoke that message, that image of what that member or that guest could achieve? Do you have members who are strong? Do you have a process or a program that's strong? Do you have fun? And there's a lot of things you have to look at and say, what is it that your club wants to be? And how do you want to, how do you get that message out there? And that means how you, when you look at that on an ongoing basis, running the moments of truth, and also just asking your guests, asking your members, are we meeting your goals? That goes a long way to helping to get your club to be the place that those guests want to come to, and the place that your own members want to be at.
Tell us, once again, tell us about what a quality club is, and a club that's struggling to find the excellence, find the quality. How can that club, what steps can that club take to go in that direction?
Okay. Good question. So a quality club, to me, is a club that attracts members, attracts guests to become members, and it's enticing to them. There's some metrics that are used that you can use to determine that, and use the Distinguished Club program, looking at those numbers to see what you're achieving. There's the Moments of Truth to see, are you meeting your needs, and to help do that. The Distinguished Club program is a good health care, like a blood pressure measurement to see if you're actually healthy or not. But it doesn't tell you where there's things that are broken. So the Moments of Truth helps to tell you what the guest experience and the member experience really is, and to help zero in on what that problems are. A club is healthy if there's lots of members that are doing all the work in the program, that are doing their manual speeches, that are signing up to do the roles, where you have, you know, an active executive, where you have people who want to be on the executive and want to move forward and see this club and see Toastmasters as an opportunity to become better themselves. A struggling club is one that is struggling to get people to come to the meeting, to get people to sign up for roles, to get people to do their manual speeches, all of those things, and where they don't seem to have that membership growth because they're, for whatever reason, now I can get into the reasons, but they don't have that membership growth, so they can't build that critical mass. And you're not going to be able to build that critical mass if you don't have an enticing product, if you're not an attractive product to offer to guests coming in the door. You can do all the PR campaigns you want, you'll get a lot of people coming in, and maybe you'll get some conversions, hopefully, but you won't get the number of conversions that you would, or the percentage of conversions that you would have if you actually had an attractive club. So you can go back to your roots and say we can spend a lot of time on PR, getting people in the door, and maybe 1 out of 10 will join if we're an okay club. That's a lot of work. If you're only getting, to get 1 out of 10. Whereas if you are really a fun and exciting and club where people see it as being a place to be, you'll get 4 or 5 or 6 out of 10 joining. And I've seen that happen in many of the clubs that I've been a part of. That a club that is fun to be at, people want to join. The end of last year, one of the clubs I was at both 2 clubs I was president of became President's Distinguished. And one of them, albeit, became President's Distinguished in the last week or last day of the Toastmaster year on June 30th. But in the month leading up to that, we gained 4 or 5, in a month and a half, we gained about 5 new members. And the reason we did that, and these were not paper members, these were real members. Our VP of PR went out and did a lot of campaigning at the local library and brought the guests and made sure that we got the guests coming in the door. When they came in the door, we made sure that our meetings were fun, exciting, that everyone was positive, it was professionally run, and these people wanted to join. We had a very high percentage of guest conversion to membership during that month. And it's because we were having fun and it was exciting. We never thought that we were going to get those members in. We never thought that we were going to become President's Distinguished because we had too big of a hurdle to achieve. Our VPPR, though, did a great job of getting them in the door, and everyone just had fun, and we did that. So making the meetings fun, getting the members and getting the guests in the door, that is what's going to help overcome the challenge. Now, yes, you got to do it. It's difficult because in some cases the mindset of the people is that they're burned out, they've done too much, the members are just overwhelmed with all that, and you need to revitalize that club. And there's ways to do that. Part of it is just through, taking a look inwardly at yourself and saying, let's take a look and say, what can we do to make this club fun? And in some cases, they may not have that ability to do that, and they need the help. And that's where talking to people like Jeff and getting a coach in there to help out is really important, because they may just need some fresh ideas. And sometimes guests that turn to members give them the fresh ideas, and that's wonderful if they listen to them. And usually the guests are somewhat shy about trying to restructure the club, so those ideas don't necessarily come forward or are taken seriously. So you need to have a little bit of that fresh idea, and that's where I really think it's important to have a coach come in to help shake things up a little bit. But the club has to be willing to listen, and they have to really be prepared to make some changes, make some hard decisions. If they're able to do that, they can turn a club around from being a club that's a disaster and dying to one that is vibrant and exciting and a place to be.
It's a team effort, but all the rewards are definitely there when it all comes together. It becomes very exciting, and the synergy becomes even more fun.
Exactly.
It becomes addicting, and that's why some of us are lifers and Toastmasters. I want to talk about our own clubs a little bit, and what we see. You're a member of how many clubs?
2 clubs right now.
2 clubs.
Northdale Power Talkers and Richdale Toastmasters.
Okay, so both quite different clubs.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about your clubs, where you see some of the successes, where they've been, and maybe as an example to some of the clubs out there that might be struggling. Once again, why do guests want to come in, join as members, and be there?
Yeah, it's. I'll talk about Richdale Toastmasters first, because that was the club that I was the member of the longest of the 2. I've only just recently joined Northdale Power Talkers last year when I moved to North Delta. Richdale Toastmasters was down to about 5 years ago, it was down to 3 members, 3 active members, and they were struggling seriously. They were seriously considering closing down. They had a coach, and that coach was working with them, and the 3 active members were working strongly to keep that club alive. There was really one person who was the foundation of that, and the coach came in and got some things going, and they grew from that dismal 3 to probably about 8 or 9 members. It was still struggling a little bit. I was asked to come in as a coach as well to that club to offer additional assistance, and one of the things that we did is somehow we attracted a person who had a lot of energy and just was very strongly dynamic. And that person wanted to have fun and really could evoke fun by just laughing and just making it the whole meetings fun. And that person helped drive the membership up just by having fun meetings. And she became the president of the club and did a lot. And we made a lot of minor changes, but that club went to well over 20 members that year, and they've been sustaining over 25 members or 24 members since going on. No, they dropped back. They dropped back below 20 during that lull in the summertime. And when I left with my wife, we were both members of that club, and we physically moved from there. It had an impact, and I still belong there, but I don't go there as often because I don't physically go there, and it's had a drop off. Part of that is that you just gotta constantly have those people who are excited and are passionate about Toastmasters getting up there and talking and showing that passion. That keeps your membership strong, keeps your membership alive. And that's what you need to have. If you have people who get defeated and feel that you're not going to be able to accomplish anything, and that the club is not going to be successful, that pulls down. It's that negative energy that pulls down. You've got to have people who are vibrant and exciting. Now, I'm a member of North Delta Power Talkers, so I don't have, and I just joined last July, essentially, is when I joined. And it's a much bigger club, and they had changed venues. They're now in a library setting. It's a nice room. The venue is organized. The meetings are efficient. To me, it's a good club. It's a good, solid club, and they've got a lot of DTMs who are members. You know, people having distinguished Toastmasters on your roster is pretty impactful because it shows that you have a lot of strength, and that provides that expectation, or sets an expectation for guests coming in, saying, "We've got these professional speakers that are there, and I can see that. I don't have to know what a DTM is or even care what a DTM is, but if you have people who've got that level of experience in your club and are essentially professional speakers, not really, but essentially by having that DTM, they've gotten that level, that the guests can see that and they say, this is where I can see that I can learn and grow." So you need to have that. just having a designation doesn't do anything. So you've got to actually have those people up there speaking, and speaking in a way that shows to your guests that this is what they can achieve. If you have that, you can keep that club strong, can develop and be strong. Now, I think that North Delta Power Talkers had a little bit of a lull, like they all do in that summertime. And I know that I've taken on lots of roles within that club, and I'm constantly speaking, and I know that my passion and my excitement helps generate new members and gets people, and I've got a lot of people I've signed up to be a mentor for, and I think that's great, and we all have to do that. And if we have that passion, we have that excitement, and we have the professionalism, having the passion and not working the program is not going to solve the problem. It's not going to attract people, but working the process, working the program itself, and having a passion for what it can achieve, and being somewhat competent. They don't have to be magic, but you have to be somewhat competent. That sets the right message for when people come in the door that I like this.
So Shawn, to close our session here, I'd like you to talk about how new members or existing members that are wondering about their journey, about the next steps, how they can be part of the other things that we've talked about, how they might want to join the executive or their paths, whether they're going to continue on the current path or the new pathways path. How can members, and especially young members, really jump into the experience, into the Toastmasters journey?
Good question, excellent question. This is an area that I'm somewhat passionate about as well. If you're a new member, a brand new member, you've got lots of expectations. Keep those expectations fresh, keep those expectations high. You want to challenge your club to do what it ought to do. And if it isn't doing all the things you want it to do, step up. That's all I say is step up. Become an active member of the club executive. Mentor other people, do all these other stuff, but become a member of the executive. Sign up, step up to be a role on the executive. I don't mean be president in your first year, although some clubs let some of those new ones do it, but step up to be there and participate in it and help set the direction. Challenge the executive, challenge the other members to make that club, make sure that club is delivering to you what you need to be successful. Now I've done a keynote speech a few times. It uses the tagline, you reap what you sow. In Toastmasters, as with most things in life, you get back a multiple of what you put in. You put in a little bit, you get a little bit back. You put in a lot, you get a lot back. And sometimes that multiple is less than 1, sometimes that multiple is much greater than 1. Toastmasters offers the opportunity to have the multiple being significantly more than 1. So for every hour of effort you put in, you could get 2 hours of value coming back. But it's about putting in the effort. You need to step up. So you reap what you sow. Now the word sow, in this case I use as an acronym, and sow is spelled S-O-W. And the acronym that I make out of that is your stage time is the S, getting outside your comfort zone is the O, and widening your perspective is the W. Stage time, getting up there and doing stuff, and doing it repeatedly. Doing lots of speeches, doing table topics, doing other roles. The more you do, the better you become at it. And try things that are just way outside your comfort zone. The more things that you try that are outside your comfort zone, things that you would never have done before, within your speeches, even within your evaluations, try things that are different and challenging for you, because you'll find out that certain things aren't bad. They actually turn out to be pretty good. Some things aren't so great, but that's what Toastmasters is about. It's an opportunity to learn and make mistakes. And you learn from those mistakes more than you learn from doing things right. You learn more from doing things wrong. So get outside your comfort zone and widen your perspective. Take on those club officer roles. Step outside, become an area director, division director. You have much more level of influence, things that you can do. You can make Toastmasters what you need it to be for yourself. And surprisingly, you will not only help yourself, but you'll be able to help a lot of other people, because a lot of other people want the same things that you want. So challenge your organization, but don't be afraid to step up. You reap what you sow. Go out there and sow those seeds.
Inspiring words and a good close. Shawn, thanks very much for sitting in on the interview and sharing your wisdom with the Toastmasters out there. It's been my pleasure, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there in the clubs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn.